866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak to me live. If you're listening to the podcast, which airs for 24 hours after the live presentation has ended, that number is 855-347-3696. That's also the same number you want to call to get information about the nutritional supplements and how to get them at the wholesale price and or the business opportunity. That's 855-347-3696. David from Michigan has been hanging on patiently. David, it's your turn on Fire Your MD Now. You are live.
Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for the call. How can I help?
Well, to start off, I'd like to say I lost 63 pounds since April on longevity.
You got to love it, man. How do you feel? I mean, besides an excellent, by the way, fantastic job, how do you feel?
I feel great, even though I'm in a wheelchair. I fell and shattered my talus bone. I'm legally blind. I have RP. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that, but
retinitis pigmentosa?
Yes.
Yeah, I can help you with that. We can.
Great.
I can't say I can.
Right.
We can support and promote the health of your eyes. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good. So your talus bone. Tell us about that. That's in your foot.
I was moving a cabinet down the basement, and I fell about 13 feet and shattered.
Ouch.
I shattered the talus bone, and it was a class 3 dislocation or something like that. It was dislocated 2.5 inches for about 12 hours. Yep. And I had surgery, a couple of screws, but the doc said that the blood vessels were torn that feed that bone, and apparently they don't put them back together. They just put the bone back together and hope that the blood vessels reconnect on their own, and he doesn't think that's happening. The accident was on November 12th. I got the cast off on January 21st, and he said 2 more months without weight bearing. I go on the 15th for another x-ray of March. So I'm getting range of motion therapy now.
Yeah.
I'm taking 15 glucogel tabs every day.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 240.
Well, you need to be taking 24 glucogel a day.
Okay. Well, I also take 1 ounce of the liquid in the morning and 1 ounce in the evening.
Oh, then 15 a day is fine. That's no problem. You also want to be doing at least, and between now and the time you go back, in a couple of weeks for the follow-up, I would do 4 ounces of the liquid calcium a day.
Okay, of the OsteoFX?
Yeah, 4 ounces of that, either the OsteoFX or the Cal-Toddy. But you know what? There's a difference here between a maintenance dose and a recovery dose. So if you've got a broken bone, you've got a ligament tear, you've got some fracture someplace, we want to overdo it with the minerals and the calcium and the sulfur-bearing molecules, because your body needs a lot more to fix it than it does just to maintain it. So I would, that's a good glucogel dose that you're at, by the way. I would just simply increase for a couple of weeks the calcium, no problem.
Okay. And I'm also doing, since we heard your program about the guy with the ear problem, the dizziness, we're doing the hot and cold hydrotherapy in a bucket, 30 minutes twice a day.
To the leg? To the foot?
Yeah, I put the foot in a bucket of hot water and then a bucket of cold water, a minute each bucket for 30 minutes twice a day.
Smart man, and you always want to start with the cold and start with the hot and end with the cold. Start with the hot and end with the cold.
I am doing that, and that is helping with the range of motion. The first time I did it, my therapist came the next day, and he said I had, from Friday to that Monday, I had more range of motion. So that's definitely helping.
Very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that can help here, believe it or not, is reflexology.
Okay.
So, are you married?
Yes.
All right, well, just have your wife give you a foot rub a couple times a day or even at night right before bed. Real gentle foot rub. She can kind of go crazy on the part of your foot where the screws weren't put in, and gentle massage and touch in the area of the of the surgery and of the injury will go a long way towards helping this to come back. You don't want to overlook the value of touch here, and you don't want to be poking and prodding an area where there's soft tissue damage, because that's going to make it worse. But a little bit of massage in and around the area of trouble plus the rest of the foot is also an excellent adjunctive therapeutic here that can really dramatically increase or speed up the recovery time. Okay. All right.
What about RP?
Yeah, all right. So retinitis pigmentosa, from our point of view, and by the way, folks, this is an illness in the eye where the retina, which is the back part of the eye that receives light signals, starts to go south. And our take on this is that this is caused by oxidative damage and also lack of eye nutrients, but mostly oxidative damage. So the secret sauce here is ORAC and eliminating the 10 bad foods, because especially oil in a bottle and fried food, well-done red meat, preservatives in meat, but especially oil and fried food, contributes a great deal of free radical oxygen species to the body, which cause inflammation and consistent damage. So just eliminating the 10 bad foods is going to go a long way towards knocking down the causative factor so that you can potentially stop further damage to the eye. But also, you want to give your body antioxidants, which will help it to fight the oxidative damage and, if possible, rebound. You might want to purchase, it's only $3. Go to Dr. Wallach's website, drjwallach, W-A-L-L-A-C-H, drjwallach.com, drjwallach.com, and order the audio CD, Seeing is Believing. And that's a testimony that a medical doctor recorded for Dr. Wallach because of his experience of the remarkable health turnarounds of his patients who had retinitis pigmentosa, glaucoma, macular degeneration following Dr. Wallach's methods. So, it will give you inspiration and, a sense of what really can be accomplished here. And as I've said a million times before, David, I used to think that I knew where the point of no return was. And there is a point of no return. There is a point beyond which the body is so messed up it just can't come back. It just can't. But I don't know where that is anymore, and quite frankly, nor do you, nor does anybody. So what do we do here? In every single instance, we clean it up. We clean up the diet. We start eating food that's healthy. We stop eating food that's unhealthy. We give the body a push. We give the body a push. We give the body a push. We give it the 90 essential nutrients plus the extra stuff it needs every day, every day, every day, every day. We support and promote every day. Support and promote the health of the body every day. Keep your darn fingers crossed and see what happens. I mean, honestly, what the heck? You got nothing to lose because this is a holistic phenomenon, right? And your body needs all these nutrients anyway. So even if you have reached the point of no return, with the eye or with the hearing or with whatever, everything else in your body is going to get stronger and benefit into the bargain. So there's no harm and no foul here. So the secret sauce is eliminate the oil, eliminate the fried food along with the 8 other bad foods, and increase your selenium supplementation. If I had retinitis pigmentosa, I would do 15 selenium a day. I would do 5 with breakfast, 5 with lunch, and 5 with dinner. It may interest you as a little anecdote, which may mean something, it may mean nothing. But in the animal kingdom, the animals with the best vision, the most acute vision, also have the highest concentration of selenium in their eye. That's very interesting. Selenium, of course, promotes the body's own recycling of the body's own antioxidant, glutathione. And, it's always better to trust nature. So if we're trying to increase antioxidant activity, which is what we're doing with retinitis pigmentosa, it's perhaps you could make the argument that it's better to provoke the body's support and promote and provoke the body's own natural antioxidant rather than just pouring a lot of antioxidants in the body. Well, I say why not do both? So selenium recycles the body's own natural antioxidant, glutathione, which is one of the reasons why selenium is such a potent cancer preventive. It reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%, for goodness sake. One of the reasons, the mechanisms that it does that through, is by stimulating the body's production of glutathione and helping it to recycle it. And the body uses glutathione to clean up oxidative damage, inflammatory damage. So 15 selenium a day and a diet that is extremely high in antioxidants, right? So, have someone do a Google search for ORAC food values. That's ORAC, capital O, capital R, capital A, capital C. That's an acronym for oxygen radical absorption capacity food value. And your target here is about 100,000 ORAC points a day ingested. So, green tea, red wine, dark-skinned fruits, walnuts, curry powder, cinnamon, all of these things and many more are loaded with antioxidants. And, if you measure them out kind of by the ounce or by the teaspoon or whatever, you'll get a sense of how many antioxidant points you're actually securing every day. The goal here would be 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, 15 selenium a day, and one other thing that we do, and thank God for Dr. Wallach here, is we take an extra supplement to increase the circulation to the eye, and that is the Ultimate Daily Capsules. So that would be 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, 5 bottles of the Ultimate Selenium, in addition to what you're doing. Up the ante with your antioxidants. I like that phrase. Make sure the diet's cleaned up and life is good. And then, once you're on this boat, David, it's just a matter of time until things start to turn your way. So you've already come a long way, man, with the weight loss and the energy and feeling better. Just maintain the discipline. You're going to be amazed at how good you feel. We have 4 webinars a week available to subscribers of my online health recovery program. 4 live webinars a week. 2 of them are chat room sessions, and this morning we had a chat for about an hour and a half, and I just want to read you 2 of the entries into the chat room. This is just 2. This is just a small slice of life that normally you don't see up close and personal like this. This person writes, I was on antibiotics for a year and ended up with an infection called C. diff. It's a common side effect of antibiotics. I've been having real trouble with my bowels ever since. I've been taking a couple of the longevity supplements for a couple of months, but I'm still having symptoms. I don't feel like I'm absorbing the calcium and the magnesium. I feel bloated, a lot of indigestion and heartburn. Also, it's hard to breathe. I'm still experiencing restless legs, insomnia, nervousness, and really bad anxiety with chest pains and tightness. Restless legs, insomnia, nervousness, really bad anxiety with chest pains and tightness, right? This is stuff that people get all of the time. And why do people get these things? Because their MDs suck at what they do. Every time you're sick, every time someone in your family or your community or your church or whatever is sick and suffering big time like this, it's another failure. Now, people don't want to wear their suffering on their sleeve. So they're not going to tell you, after church or after the Rotary Club meeting or, after the Kiwanis Club lunch or whatever it is that you do, they're not going to roll out the laundry list of their symptoms like they do with doctors. They're not going to tell you the gory details. But everybody is, in fact, involved with a host of symptoms, strong and persistent symptoms. Why are we involved with strong and persistent symptoms? Because the medical profession that's in charge of our health care doesn't practice health care, and they have completely let us down. And this is the 900 trillion pound gorilla in the middle of the room that nobody sees. Oh, in this woman's case, the problem here was absorption of the nutrients, and so she needed to be gluten-free, she needed to take digestive enzymes, and she needed to dilute the calcium supplement that she was taking much more than she was and drink it more slowly because her system was having a hard time absorbing it because, for 30, 40 years, she had been eating all of the wrong foods all the time, and her intestinal tract was in trouble, and then that was complicated, of course, by the side effects of the antibiotics. And were there any lawsuits levied against the people that prescribed the antibiotics? Was there any class action lawsuits? No. Were there any, charges filed against the MDs that generated the side effects? No. Was anybody's wrist slapped? No. Because when you are in charge of the monopoly, you can get away with anything, and with immunity, which is what MDs experience all of the time. Here's another example from today's chat room. Another perfect example. Mr. X has been in several car accidents, the worst and most recent in 2004. Many head injuries from the car accidents, 45 years old. Extreme fatigue, muscle weakness, severe eye pain, eye movement and vision problems. Suddenly dyslexic, can't type. Slurs words, brain fog, severe head pain. Face feels cold and clammy, facial twitching, head always feels like the person has the flu 24/7, but not the rest of the body. It's just in the head. Memory and concentration problems, ear pain, pressure in the ear, weird whooshing noises inside the head, bruises easily, digestion sluggish, abdominal pain and pressure, 20-pound gain in weight around the gut, excess gas, ulcers, nausea, disequilibrium, vertigo, poor coordination, teeth going bad, receding gums, and chronic sinus infections. Oh my God, isn't your medical doctor wonderful? All of these things. Can you imagine living with all of these things? Millions of people do. Why do millions of people do? Because nobody knows there's a different way, and everybody thinks their MD knows what's best for them. When in point of fact, our MDs only know what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in delivers piss poor results for chronic disease. It's in my face every day. It's in my face every day, and now I'm going to put it in your face every day, so we can look at the cold, hard, startling facts that MD-directed medical treatment fails us miserably, and the best thing you can do for your health is fire your MD. When? Now. The Perry Mason of vitamin lawyers, the Perry Mason, the dragon slayer, who has successfully taken the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, to court 8 times, Jonathan Emord, will be my guest, my special guest, tomorrow for the full first hour, right here on FireYourMDNow.com. So check it out. Boy, if this doesn't get your juices flowing, I just don't know what will. Really, this guy is like the Perry Mason of the nutritional supplement industry, the Perry Mason of alternative medicine. He's, for goodness sake, he sued the Food and Drug Administration 8 times in order to make it easier for you to gain access to nutritional supplements. We're going to talk a lot tomorrow about what he's done historically and what is going on right now in the political arena vis-a-vis legislation, FDA corruption, and nonsense regarding your nutritional supplements, your health, and your life. Don't miss tomorrow's show. Tell everyone in your life about it. We're not taking any calls in the first hour tomorrow. That's how important this guy is. Right here tomorrow, live, in color. Jonathan Emord, I can't wait. Right now, going back to the phones, I'm going to talk to North Carolina. By the way, folks, 866-582-9933 is the number to call. Lines are open. John from North Carolina, thanks for the call. You are live.
Yes.
Hello, John. What's going on?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. I've been diagnosed as a borderline diabetic, and I also have arthritic flares. and I wanted to hear what you had to say about the.
All right, well, stick with me here for a minute, John, and your signal's a little funky, so if you're on a speakerphone, take it off, or, if you're using a microphone, disengage it and just talk right into the phone here, just for 60 more seconds. What did the medical doctors, what did your MDs tell you to do when you were diagnosed with borderline type 2 diabetes?
Are you off?
Yeah, I'm still here, John. What did they tell you to do when they told you you had borderline type 2 diabetes?
Just control it with diet and exercise.
So all they did was to fix it with diet and exercise. And what did they tell you to eat?
Low-fat food.
Did you have a consultation with, like, a nutritionist or anybody, or did they just say, don't eat food that has fat in it and get out of the office? What did they tell you?
Just stay on a low-fat diet.
Yeah, okay, great. So you didn't really get any good counsel at all about what to eat and what not to eat. They just told you exercise more, which, quite frankly, is going to make this worse. And stop eating fatty foods. Get out of here next. All right, John, thanks for the call. I'm going to tell you how to dial this in. You can listen to my answer on the radio, okay? Your phone signal was just too weak to carry on a conversation. I appreciate the call, and I'm going to tell you what to do. So, right, here we are, right up against it again. I mean, this is medical care in boldface. Not only are the MD therapeutics out-fashioned, outdated, juvenile, and dangerous, not only are MD-directed treatments for chronic disease outdated, old-fashioned, juvenile, and dangerous, but when they actually are interfacing with you in their office, they treat you like crap. You talk to the doctor for 2, 3, 4 minutes, that's it. Oh, you've got type 2 diabetes. You've probably got that mysterious black gene that doesn't exist, by the way. It doesn't exist. You've got that mysterious black gene. I want you to exercise more and eat a low-fat diet next. And, this is what you pay hundreds of dollars a month for to gain access to. This type of nonsense, this type of relationship, this type of treatment. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I want someone to explain to me why we take it. I want someone to explain to me how we let these people get away with substandard treatment. Why do we do it? I don't know. It doesn't happen with my patients, I can tell you that. It doesn't happen, and I can go out on a limb here and say it doesn't happen with any patient of any licensed naturopathic physician anywhere. For goodness sake, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense piled on nonsense on a crap heap of nonsense, and then it's topped off with deception and nonsense. And a giant bill, quite frankly, that's been padded. Oh, yes, doctor, I'd like some more of that rat poison. Oh, please, doctor, please. Please, can I have some more of that horse hormone, doctor, please? Can I please have some more of that liver poison? Please, I need it, doc, please. We go from the frying pan to the fire, from bad to worse, every day. And we wonder why the economy is buckling under the weight. Well, it's because it doesn't work. Again, we don't have to tweak the insurance system. We don't have to make it more affordable for people. We don't have to dial in the pharmaceutical industry to, make drugs less expensive so we're not raked over the coals. We don't need to do any of that, because even if we did all of that, the startling fact would still exist that MD-directed treatments for chronic disease don't work. They don't work. This is why we have a healthcare crisis. It's not that there's anything that needs to be tweaked inside of healthcare. It's that we need to abandon this type of healthcare. In a perfect world, everyone would know about Dr. Wallach's longevity health recovery protocols. Everyone would know, because we have boilerplate health recovery protocols. Boilerplate. Why? Because healing is easy. Why? Because your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. Why? I don't know. Ask God. That's just the way that it is. Your body was so smart, it grew itself all by itself from a single-celled organism into the magnificent manifestation of you. We speculate and postulate and theorize. Well, if your body was smart enough to grow itself, it probably knows how to fix itself. And guess what? Our clinical experience bears this out. But your medical doctor does not know this. Your medical doctor is only trained in drugs and surgery. And when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So what's the MD going to tell you to do? Change your diet. And what's going to happen if you have type 2 diabetes and you exercise more? Well, I'll tell you what. In 1957, there was a doctor, a medical doctor, who was the exception that proves the rule. His name was Mertz, M-E-R-T-Z. He proved that he could turn type 2 diabetes on or off in laboratory mice by eliminating or giving them the mineral chromium. That chromium was a nutritional mineral, an essential mineral that was essential for the proper metabolism of blood sugar, and if your body runs out of chromium, you're going to get type 2 diabetes, period. That happened in 1957. Well, why hasn't there been more and more research about the a cause and effect relationship between mineral supplementation and type 2 diabetes? Because there's no money in mineral supplementations, number one. And number two, when you cure a disease, you eliminate the profit. One type 2 diabetic patient treated for 30 to 40 years, which is about the industry standard here for type 2 diabetes with their disease being managed, profits the medical industry between $300,000 and $400,000, depending on your insurance, between $300,000 and $400,000 per person over their lifetime. That's a lot of money. So, it's, from their point of view, it's better to manage it than it is to fix it. And here we are, up against it. So, what am I going to tell John to do to support and promote the health of his blood sugar? I'm going to tell him a science-based, clinically verified alternative to metformin. The recommendation here to get on the other side of it, to support and promote the health of your body in the face of a diagnosis of pre-type 2 diabetes. 1 healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 extra bottle of EFA Plus per month. And 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, stopping at 4 bottles a month. Now, if you can't afford the selenium, just do the healthy blood sugar packs. If you can't afford 2 healthy blood sugar packs, if you're 200 pounds, do 1 healthy blood sugar pack. If you can't afford that, do 1 bottle of Sweeties, Ultimate Sweet Ease, Sweet Ease. SWEET-EZE. Actually, if all you're going to get is the Sweeties, do 2 bottles of the Sweeties. 2 bottles of the Sweeties a month, that's 240 Sweeties a month, that's 8 a day. 4 with breakfast and 4 with dinner. Do that. And eliminate the 10 bad foods from your diet. Eliminate the 10 bad foods from your diet. And for goodness sake, don't even look at the treadmill. Because as you exercise more, your body's going to lose and burn through its limited nutrient supply. When you sweat out a mineral soup. You don't just sweat out salt. It's a mineral soup. It's a vitamin soup. It's a nutrient soup. And when you exercise, your metabolism increases, your respiratory rate increases, your heart rate increases, everything increases. And when things increase, they burn. It's nutrient demanding. Your metabolism runs on nutrients, vitamins and minerals and amino acids and proteins and essential fatty acids. And as you increase its metabolism with exercise, you burn through your reserves. So if you have pre-type 2 diabetes and you exercise, you will accelerate the genesis of type 2 diabetes. Your MD is completely wrong in this regard, and for that reason they should have their license stripped. They should be pilloried in the town square. They should be fed to a rabid dog, and then the rabid dog should be shipped to an island in the middle of the South Pacific and burned to death, for goodness sake. Pain and suffering, ladies and gentlemen, knows no race, knows no creed, knows no color, and will not yield to drug and surgery treatments. Not chronic diseases, they won't. For goodness sake, if they did, we wouldn't be in a pickle, would we? I mean, if MD treatments worked, hallelujah. Which is why I support trauma care, surgery when it's necessary, and the MD treatment of most chronic infections, most infectious diseases. There's a handful that they don't work. But, you know, that's their wheelhouse. That's what they're good at. For everything else, they stink. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. They stink at what they do for chronic disease, and they should be avoided. You shouldn't even take their advice about chronic disease because they do not know what they're talking about. How do I know they don't know what they're talking about? Because they don't get results. We get results. And, you know, I can criticize them all I want, and I will criticize them all I want because nobody else is. But my criticism is born from two things. Number one, they drew first blood. Hey, I'm a live and let live type of a guy. I am. You don't hurt me, I'm not going to hurt you. You go your way, I'll go mine. It's a big planet. It's a free world, more or less. We can do whatever we want, more or less. But the MDs got in my face. The MDs said, you're a quack. You can't practice. Your medicine is illegal. You have substandard training. The MDs defamed, defrauded, stole, outregulated me in my profession, my colleagues. They've been calling us quacks for hundreds of years, and enough is enough. They drew first blood, and guess what? I'm swinging back. For goodness sake. Number one. Number two, my position here would be groundless, would be baseless if we didn't get results. We get results. That's why we survive in an oppressive political climate like this. Why? Because we're blowing smoke? No. Because our therapeutics produce specific and measurable and noticeable results. You stick with me, you'll see testimonials that will make you cry. Richard from Jackson, Mississippi, thanks for the call. You are live.
Listening to you folks for about 3 or 4 months, and I want to start taking your supplements. What my problem is, I've been used to go on long walks, and I started getting about after 6 blocks, I started getting my heart would not feel very good, so I'd stop and I'd start sweating. And I went and had an EKG and all that stuff just to get the numbers, but I don't go to doctors. So anyway, I'd like to know the supplements you'd recommend. Okay, so,
we're not in the business of making diagnoses over the phone, but dial this in for me a little bit more. So how tall are you and how much do you weigh?
I'm about 5'10" and weigh 200 pounds. I'm about 25 pounds overweight.
Okay, and what happens, do you have any other aches and pains or, any heartburn or arthritic pains or insomnia or restless legs or trouble falling asleep or anything else?
Well, not really. I mean, I don't sleep I don't sleep very many hours. I'm 70. I do a lot of consulting and travel a lot. But I thought I was in pretty good health, but it just scared the hell out of me when I got walking. I used to walk a lot, and then I quit walking when this happened.
Yeah, so what would happen is you get short of breath after a little bit of exertion and maybe start to even sweat and perspire a little?
Exactly.
Okay. So a good thing to do here, just to be safe, because, high blood pressure is called the silent killer. We just want to make sure that you don't have high blood pressure. So go to CVS or Walgreens or someplace and get a blood pressure cuff, okay?
Okay.
Then I want you to take it to the firehouse in your local town and have the EMTs, when they're not out on call, take your blood pressure with their equipment and with the equipment that you just bought from CVS so that you can see whether or not the one that you bought is accurate, because it has to be accurate or we're, spitting into the wind, right? So,
okay, even though the doctors gave me one, still do that.
Yeah, so they did high blood pressure tests and they said your pressure was normal?
Yeah, they said it was 130 over 72.
Okay, all right. And that was in the doctor's office?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, then I take it back. I guess I missed that part of your story. I apologize. All right. So what we're going to do here then is just general support with extra cardiovascular stuff, right? Because the thing was shortness of breath and your blood pressure's okay. It could, of course, be a problem with clogged arteries in your heart. The only way to really know whether that's going on is to do this nasty testing. I don't recommend it. So we're just going to start somewhere, see how you do, and then modify the program appropriately in a couple of weeks if we need to. So what's your body weight? You're a little over 200, right? So the recommendation would be 2 healthy start packs, 2 healthy start packs and 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, 2 healthy start packs, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, and 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per month. 2 healthy start packs, 4 Ultimate Selenium, and 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules a month, plus, sometimes you can, in fact, teach an old dog new tricks, right? It would be a very prudent idea for you, me, everybody else in the world, to stop the 10 bad foods. Just stop eating them.
I just started that just about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Have you noticed any difference just from stopping wheat, barley, rye, and oats?
Just that I go crazy. I've lived on oatmeal, so it's a little...
All right, so look, we're running out of time. I appreciate the call, David. What you can do, and there is a little bit of a learning curve here. One of the things you can do in the morning is have eggs instead. Soft scrambled eggs and butter, soft boiled eggs, or poached eggs with butter and salt. You can have leftovers from the night before for dinner. You can have cornflakes, for goodness sake, if you want cereal. But really, my favorite is eggs and bacon that's nitrate-free, unless, of course, you're a vegetarian. Then we're going to have another conversation. But anyway, you can figure it out. You're a smart guy. Change your diet. Take the supplements. Call me back in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, it's Jonathan Emord. Don't miss it.